All right, so this video is going to go over a few examples for practice 8.1 and practice 8.3. You're identifying the figures in the diagram and you're using the one to the right. So when you're identifying 3 points, you're going to identify any of these in here. There are actually 4 points. You only had to label 3 of them. So the points are A, B, C, and D. And to label them, you just use a capital letter. In the figure, there's one line, and that line is right here. Everything else has an endpoint, so even though there's an arrow on this side, this one has an endpoint, and so does this. So this is the only line. So you would write BC and then draw a little line on top of it. To name the plane, you're going to pick any 3 points. So you can do A, B, C, A, B, D, A, C, D, or B, C, D. Any 3 points because 3 of them are not in a straight line, so any 3 points would do. All right, for the rays, you're going to pick an endpoint, and then the arrow goes through the other point. So here at B, there's an endpoint, and it goes through D. Another one could be here at C, going through D. So C, D is a ray as well. The other 2 rays are a little bit trickier. They're a little bit hidden, but the line also has rays. So there's a ray from B going through C. So BC is a ray. And then if you go on the other side, starting at C and going through B, that is a different ray because it's going here. So this one would go in the other direction. So those are 2 separate rays. There are a lot of different line segments in this picture. So one of them is AB, another one is AC. Okay, so these are both line segments. BC is a line segment, and it's the same line segment as CB. All right, these count as the same one. They're not different. They're just written in a different order. Usually we would write in alphabetical order, but just know like these are the same one. They would not count as 2 different ones. Another line segment is here. BD is a line segment. Again, the same one as DB. That's the same line segment. They do not count as separate. They're the same. And then CD is a line segment. And again, DC is the same one, just written in the other way. So using this, hopefully you can then finish questions 6 through 15. All right, you're going to follow that same process. And then down here, you're identifying line segments that are congruent. So one pair of line segments that is congruent, AD is congruent to BE. Okay? They are congruent to another line as well, so I'm going to leave that for you to try to see if you can name it. There are 2 other sets of congruent lines. So this is a D. AD, no, it's not the best D. There you go. AD is congruent to BE, and I know that because they have the same number of lines on them. So that's how you do practice 8.1. Again, we're skipping the area page. I'm sorry, it was copied in the wrong order. And we're going to look here at angle relationships. And we're going to be telling whether or not something is parallel, perpendicular, or skew. And remember from our notes, if they're parallel, we can use 2 parallel lines, and you remember that because there's actually 2 parallel lines in the word parallel. Perpendicular, we use that upside down T. All right, and then skew, we would write the word skew. There isn't a symbol that I know of for skew. So you identify the lines in the figures. So AB is here and DE is here. So AB and DE are parallel. All right, they're in the same plane, but they'll never meet. So they are parallel to each other. EF and CF intersect. It's hard to tell exactly how, but we can assume since these are our only 3 options that they are going to be perpendicular to each other.
I don't like
No.
the way
Video, go. All right. Perpendicular to CF. So again, it isn't labeled in the picture, but because those are our only 3 options, we can assume that that would be a right angle. All right, AB and AD, again, same thing. They intersect. Because just intersecting isn't an option, we can assume that when they intersect, they are perpendicular to each other. And then BC and DE. So BC is back here on this triangle, and DE is up here. They are on different planes, and those planes are parallel to each other. This is actually what's called a triangular prism. So these are rectangles, and the triangles are parallel to each other. So they will never meet. So BC and DE are skew. They're in separate planes and they'll never meet. So using that, see if you can finish 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, and then down here we're going to be doing a little more investigating into parallel lines and transversals. So we're going to skip for now. Okay, so skip for now. Don't cross them out. We're going to come back to that after we do a little more investigation and a little more work. But for now, we're just going to skip 9 through 14.